This segment brought to you by the Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center in Oakley.
During our recent quarantine, the folks at the Sternberg Museum have been going live every day, a couple of times a day, to share their exhibits and information. And I think if you visit their Facebook page, all those little live segments are archived. Well, the other day they had brought the snakes out of their quarantine, and they were actually debunking myths involving snakes. So I asked Ian Trevethan if he would share some of that information with us. It was just fascinating. So support the Sternberg, go visit when you can, and in the meantime, let's have a virtual lesson.
Hi there, and welcome to the Sternberg Museum of Natural History in Hays, Kansas. My name is Ian Trevethan. I am the Education and Outreach Manager here at the museum. And this is our naturalist, Alicia Gady, and she is here to talk about a special critter that we have here at the museum, because at the museum we like to talk about all things natural history. So who is this?
So this is Jason. He is I still call him our baby bull snake, but he is 2 years old now. I call him our baby one because we have a 6'1" named Jacob in the back room. So today we are going to talk about some common myths between bull snakes and rattlesnakes. So here in Kansas, a lot of people are afraid of rattlesnakes. They're afraid of any snake they see out in the wild because they might not know what it is. And one that commonly gets mistaken for a rattlesnake is bull snakes. So there's a couple reasons with their whole correlation of being confused for each other. So one is that most people think that venomous snakes have triangular heads, and bull snakes...
He doesn't want to really stretch out because it's cold.
So he does kind of have a triangular head. So that's why most people think when they see a bull snake that it is a rattlesnake. But not all venomous snakes do have triangular heads. Some of them do have round heads. So that's also not kind of a good way to tell. The best way to tell is if you see a snake out in the wild and you don't know what it is, you just stay away from it. Because most people think, oh, if there's a rattlesnake, its tail's going to rattle and it's going to warn me that it's venomous. That is not the case. Sometimes rattlesnakes will not rattle their tail to warn you. Sometimes there's not a chance to warn you. But bull snakes also like to rattle their tail. So they'll keep it on the ground and they'll hit leaves or rocks or anything like that, and it'll sound just like a rattlesnake, especially if you don't hear rattlesnakes all that often. So some of the really common myths about bull snakes and rattlesnakes is that they can mate together, so that you have a hybrid that's a bull rattlesnake. So this is not at all possible because rattlesnakes give live birth. So they keep their eggs inside of them and then they hatch inside and then they give birth. So it's not the same as mammals, but bull snakes lay eggs. So they cannot mate together because they just have different systems completely. Another thing is that I get all the time is that if you have a bull snake on your property, if you live out in the country or something, it is going to keep the rattlesnakes away because it eats the rattlesnakes. So bull snakes have never actually been known to eat rattlesnakes. In fact, bull snakes mainly eat warm-blooded. Are you gonna go to? Okay, you got this. Bull snakes mainly eat warm-blooded creatures. So they like birds, mice, rodents, all those stuff, and some bird eggs. So other snakes that are cold-blooded, they're not all about eating that. I don't know really where that myth came from, but a lot of people think that they will fight them. So bull snakes and rattlesnakes are active at opposite times of the day. So bull snakes are diurnal, so that means they're active during the day. That's when you can see them. Whereas rattlesnakes tend to sleep during the day because they are nocturnal, so they are out at night. So lots of people think that, oh, I saw a bull snake, I didn't see any rattlesnakes, that must mean that the bull snake's keeping them away. Well, that's just because they're not active at the same time. So it is pretty common that there's still a rattlesnake somewhere around. Bull snakes and rattlesnakes do hibernate together from time to time, and you can find them in the same habitat living together. They don't really have a problem with each other. In some cases, bull snakes will keep rattlesnakes away simply for the fact that bull snakes eat a lot. So like I said, they eat warm-blooded creatures and stuff like that. But they eat a whole lot more than rattlesnakes do. So rattlesnakes are a little bit better at using the energy they get from the food to last longer periods of time. And they are ambush predators. So they'll kind of just be sitting there waiting for something to come by, and they will take that opportunity to eat it. Whereas bull snakes will go out and actively hunt, so that takes a lot more energy, so they have to eat a lot more. So if you're in an area where both of the rattlesnake and bull snake are trying to eat this particular type of rodent that's there, and the bull snake's eating more of it, that rattlesnake may go and try to find somewhere else to eat. So that's kind of a way that they may keep rattlesnakes away, but when you're considering rodents, there's a lot of them out there.
How long can these guys get? So Jason here is 2 years old.
He is 2 years
so
old.
He's young.
He is young, and he's pretty big for that little of a snake, I guess, for that young of a snake. We know exactly how old he is because he was born in somebody's house.
So he's about 3.5, 4 feet long.
Yeah, about 3.5. So they can get about 6 feet long, and they get a lot thicker too. So he is pretty long right now, but he's going to get a lot thicker. What's really awesome about bull snakes is that they are constrictors. So he's wrapping around my hand right now. He is not trying to constrict me so that he can eat me. Right now he's just trying to constrict me because he thinks we're going to drop him. And I'm also very warm.
It's cold.
So he is pretty cold. It's what, May, and we're having a pretty cold day.
Degrees.
So he's all cuddled up to us for the heat. But he is a constrictor, so he does constrict his food, unless, of course, he's eating an egg. Then he just eats it.
Cool.
But
All right. Well, thank you for your time, Alicia.
no problem. Thank you for your time,
Hopefully
Jason.
that was informative to everybody out there.
Welcome to the Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center, right here in my hometown of Oakley, Kansas. We're the front door of Western Kansas, located on 3 main highways, I-70, US 83, and US 40. And all those roads lead to history, beautiful scenery, and adventure, no matter which direction you go. We now have an IHOP. That brand that you've trusted up and down the road in all your travels is staffed with local folks, real people just like you and me, and we're waiting on you to join us. So for fun, adventure, fuel up, fuel your body, and let's have some fun.